Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Brad, vlogging the name Investing Doc, own my own practice, 3 locations, 4 million in revenue in 2024. And I'm here today to talk about you need to stop waiting for permission and just build your freaking practice. If you're a doctor waiting for someone to hand you an opportunity, it's never coming. No one's coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you something on a silver platter to build your financial independence. And no one's coming to build your practice for you. Well, without taking a significant portion of your earnings, that is. So now is the time to do it yourself. I think throughout our entire training, we're told to follow the rules. In med school, residency, even undergrad. Always follow the rules. Hell, half of us are even constantly reiterating, these are what the guidelines say. These are what the guidelines say. And the guidelines are there because they show a lot of proof and they're there to guide you as a physician. But our training kind of conditions us to follow all the guidelines and the rules and to also wait for approval when we used to go check out to our attending whenever we were a resident or a fellow. It's this hierarchy of ways to follow all the rules, which I'm not suggesting anyone break any rules out there, but it's this hierarchy of way of always seeking approval of the next person above your head of, did I do this right? Did I prescribe this med right? And that's wonderful for the practice of medicine, but it doesn't work well for business. No one gives you permission to start up a business. No one gives you permission to try a new avenue in your business. But I think that most physicians are well suited as learning how to lead a team so that you could own your own practice like I do and create high revenue, high free time. I think many physicians got caught in the loop of, oh my God, I spend so much of my time seeing patients, but yes, I am also making a lot of money, that you're stuck in a high income, low free time environment. And what I want is high free time, high revenue, high money coming into my account. I think the thing that benefited me is I'm the only one as a physician in my family, but everyone else was a business owner. And I will tell you that although I love a lot of my family members, a lot of them have a lot of problems. Nobody gave them permission to start up their own company, even if it was an HVAC company or an electrician company. And they're making a lot more money than most physicians are making because they own the business and they run the business. They're not perfect, but no one gave them permission to take that risk to do it themselves. Some of them learned some hard lessons around the way. One of my uncles filed bankruptcy one time. That was for a slew of other reasons. But I think growing up, realizing that you can take on a nice risk and make a huge reward. But what is more risky in my mind is sitting there on the couch saying, okay, I'm gonna go to my 9-to-5 job. I'm gonna have high income and I'm not gonna have a lot of freedom working for someone else. Or should I be the business owner? I'm gonna try to get high income, high free time. I'm gonna take out the risk and I'm gonna try to build this business to the best of my ability. And I'm not gonna lie, it was scary in the beginning. When I lost money, it hurts. It really sucks losing money. But there's a difference between losing money on something frivolous and trying an avenue for a new business or a new business idea and it just not working out. At least you tried it. I think it was Warren Buffett who said, he looks at business like baseball. Sometimes you step up to the plate, sometimes you get a strike. But in the business of business, there's no called strikes, like meaning that 3 strikes and you're out. You could get up there and you could just look at as many balls flying by as you want until you're ready to swing the bat. And instead of hitting 1 home run, sometimes in business, you swing the bat and hit 1,000 home runs at once. And that seems to be very true. I mean, when we have a good hire, that pays off for us exponentially. I will say that the hardest part of running a business is one, starting. That is the hardest part, is like telling yourself that you're good enough to do this. The second part beyond that of the hardest part of starting a business is actually recruiting great talent. Finding those people that are so good at what they do. They work hard. They extend your brand on your behalf. Man, that's so freaking hard. That is so hard to do. So if you're thinking about starting a business, I don't know, for me, I always thought, well, maybe they're smarter than me. Maybe they're better than me. I had a little bit of imposter syndrome of like, well, they could start that multi-million-dollar business because, I don't know, they knew something better than I didn't know. And it's weird. As I look back, so yesterday, at the time of the recording of this video, yesterday, I toured another facility and we're thinking about buying it for about $3.5 million. So if I end up buying that, man, I'll have about $6 million worth of real estate that I have for commercial real estate. That's wild. That is freaking wild to have that much worth of commercial real estate. Honestly, I'm internally struggling about it because I told myself that I would not buy another location because I want to save all my capital to just expand as fast as I can. So what am I doing? I'm not waiting for someone to give me permission. I'm trying to expand the best I can. I'm paying for ads all over. If you're in Texas and you're a primary care doc and want to work with me, give me a shout. I'm also taking more time off. I'm only working 2 days a week now seeing patients because I'm hell-bent on finding more talent to fill my schedules. Guess what? I've gotten to a point where I can turn the faucet on. When I'm not there, the schedules basically may not start out totally full, but by the end of the day, they're pretty much all full. And now I'm limited by number of providers in my office, whether it be PAs, NPs, or physicians. It used to be the limiting cause was getting patients in the door. Hell, now I'm getting like 700 patients a month come into my practice, which is amazing that I've learned to turn on that faucet like that. But now my biggest limiting factor is talent. And I'm hell bent on finding those new locations, that new talent, so that I can continue to expand. I mean, think about it. As a boss and running a business, no one's giving me permission to do this. I'm just like, what's holding me back from the next goal? All right, we hit 4 million. What if I want to hit 6 or 7 million this year? What's getting in the way of hitting that 6 or 7 million this year? It's not me seeing more patients. Hell, I could work myself to death. Maybe I could hit it, but that's not a long-term solution in growing my practice so that I can get to where I want to be. But you know what can help me get there is hiring other people, getting more locations, and taking on that financial risk of getting there. It's odd, when I look at these things, I'm like talking about, a $20,000 mortgage on this multi-million-dollar place and putting 20% down on it. That used to be scary. And now with the level of income that we have coming in every month, that's doable. I can still take a salary and take on that financial risk to where now I'm just parlaying everything forward. It took 5 to 6 years of building that foundation of honestly eating crap to get here. I mean, there's so much I did wrong. Jesus Christ, I could write a freaking book, and I may end up writing a book one day about it. But if you're thinking of starting your business, if you're thinking of scaling your business, I just want to take this video for you guys to sit there and take a step back and say, all right, what is getting in the way from hitting my next goal? Maybe going from dreaming phase to action phase, or from action phase to going to, I want to hit 1 million in revenue, or I want 1 million more in revenue next year. It's not going to get there overnight. And you know what? This is the non-sexy way of trying to grow a practice. I could create some AI tool and I could go to a lot of different investors. And believe me, I already have people willing to offer investment in my company to hyper grow it even faster. And I could get those accolades online and get all this crap published. But you know what? That's going to put more money in their pocket. And I love building what I'm building. And I'm making a hell of a living doing it. I'm making more money than I ever would have made. I make more in a month than I ever made as a freaking resident. Actually, in 2 weeks, I make about what I made as an entire year, my first year of residency. This video this week is much more of a motivational video. What the hell is stopping you from going to that next level up? Are you thinking of bringing on a new provider? Why? Why not? Let's do it. Nobody's going to sit there and give you permission. There's no better time than now. As long as you're financially able to, you have the runway in front. What's getting in your way? Going from dreaming to action, what's getting in your way? Create a plan to go from A to B. There's this wonderful book, From Zero to One. And I thought it's a great book because the hardest part is going from 0 to 1, is taking that actionable change to get the ball rolling. And today's video is that nudge in the back for all of us of what's in your way of making that actionable change. My actual change is getting another location, expanding hours, which means I've pulled back on my clinical hours and I'm focusing more on hyper growth. There's also some cool stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes that it probably is going to be another 6 months before I can announce it, but oh man, I'm pretty excited about it. All right, you guys, thank you all for following along. Much more of a motivational talk this week. I really appreciate all y'all following along. Nobody's going to give you permission, except I'll give you permission today. Grow the hell out of it. Get from 1 to 2. Go from 0 to 1 and just grow your practice or get started now. I'll see y'all next week. See you next time.